Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the Athletics franchise here on MLB The Show 24 as we've reached mid-June. And we start off today's episode with a 3-game road trip to Detroit to face the 35-39 Detroit Tigers. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. As I'm always excited to play the Tigers because they've been one of the most aggressive teams in roster building the past couple of seasons. And you get to see a lot of new faces on new teams, including who's on the mound for the Tigers today. Gavin Stone, the former Dodger, who was acquired last year in a trade that sent Max Clark back to Los Angeles. Yes, one of the top prospects once in baseball. Didn't really work out in Detroit, so they gave him a fresh home in L.A. They get Gavin Stone in response as he'll start off his day against Zach Geloff, who pops over to third base. Brett Beatty playing the hot corner. And we'll take a look at the Athletics lineup. Next up, we'll see Davidson getting the start today at shortstop. Average down to 277. Still pretty high, but used to be above 3. Brian Noda, Tyler Soderstrom, and Jacob Wilson are your 3-4-5. Clark Elliott and right. Daniel Susac again getting another start at DH. Eddie Rosario in left today, and Pedro Pineda in center. Here is Logan Davidson, who grounds this one over to first. That's an easy second out of the ball game. Noda now hitting 230 with a 3-1 count, but pops up a fastball. And that should be a 1-2-3 inning for Gavin Stone. On the mound for the Athletics today will be the lefty Ken Waldichuk, who's been steady. 6-6 to the 3.48 ERA, the 1.08 WHIP. Pretty solid thus far. Leading off for the Tigers will be the right fielder Jonathan Clase, the former Chicago Cub, who starts off by grounding out to Logan Davidson. And we'll take a look at Detroit's lineup today. Like I said, a lot of faces, new faces in Detroit. We'll see it Basabi at DH, Ryan Jeffers, the catcher, Dominic Smith at first, Brett Beatty at third base, Michael Massey at second, Zach DeLoach left. That's 4 straight lefties. Jordan Lawler at short, and then the rookie Carson Roccaforte in center field. Here is Basabi up next, who swings through a fastball. Nice pitch by Waldichuk. Quickly two now for the playoff MVP from a year ago with the Twins, Ryan Jeffers, who swings and misses as well. We'll stay with the Tigers offense bottom 2, and here's Brett Beatty, who launches one deep right field and way out of here. A solo home run for Brett Beatty, who was acquired in the offseason from the New York Mets that sent Tommy Edman back to the Empire City. As Beatty, dealing with a hamstring injury earlier in the season, got his Tigers debut off to a slow start. But he's making up ground now. 1-0 Tigers later in the second, 2 down for Zach DeLoach, who golfs this one to center field. Pineda is giving chase, but he won't be able to make the play, and that's a 2-out ground rule double for the former Twin. Jordan Lawler up next draws a walk, and Waldichuk struggling to get out of this second inning. The rookie Carson Roccaforte up next, and he launches this one as well to right field, and again this one's out of here. A 3-run homer by the rookie, who's had a sensational rookie campaign, named firmly in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. He was a former second-round pick back in 2023 from the Royals out of Louisiana Lafayette. And, well, he just gave the Tigers a 4-0 lead here in the second. Going to the third inning now, Basabi leads off, and he rips this one to left, and that will drop in front of Eddie, and Waldichuk is getting slapped around a little bit today. Jeffers up next. He hits this one well to left, and this one will clear the fence for a home run. A 2-run shot by Ryan Jeffers, and the Tigers make it 6-0. 10th home run of the season for the catcher, who spent last year with the Twins and got him all the way to the World Series, thanks to being named playoff MVP. Signed a big contract here with the Tigers in the offseason. He's been worth every penny as he extends the Detroit Tigers lead. Next batter, Dominic Smith up next. The former Cardinal rips this one into the left center gap, and the hits are just going to keep on piling on for Detroit. Rolls all the way to the wall. Pineda will get to it. It's a double. As Dominic Smith, acquired last year in the Tariq Skubal trade, was actually an all-star as well with St. Louis. Beatty up next, grounds over to Wilson. We get the first out here of the third as it keeps Smith on second base. Michael Massey due up next, 2-2 pitch, and he'll pop this one up over to short. Davidson will get underneath it as Smith backtracks to first base. Just need one more out. It's going to be Zach DeLoach, another former Twin, who gets jammed, but bloops it into center field for a base hit, and that will score another run. You would think all these lefties, Waldichuk would be having a better time on the mound. That's 7-0 now. Still in the third. Lawler up next, right back to Ken, who does field it, but finally gets out of the third inning. Now the Athletics in a hole here as they go top 5. Not much has happened with the offense. As Jacob Wilson up first as he flies this one into center. Only one hit for the A's thus far. Clark Elliott up next. He gets a fastball in the hands, but he'll bloop this into center field. Good inside-out swing by the rookie right fielder. Puts one on now for Daniel Susac, the only other hit of the day coming off of his bat, and he swings through the high slider he could have taken advantage of. 5th K of the day will bring up Eddie Rosario, who was one of those Ks back in the 3rd, as he faces a 1-0 count from Stone, and he launches this one deep right field. No doubt about that one. A 2-run shot for Eddie Rosario, and that's a career home run for Eddie. That is number 200 in his major league career. Comes off the bats way into right field, 426. Good for Eddie. And now we only trail 7-2. Going into the 5th inning, Kyle Muller in relief. Wallachuk only goes 4. As we'll bring the lefty out. I know the lefty matchup didn't work out the first pitcher, but hopefully Muller cannot have the same fate that Wallachuk did. He does start by striking out Jeffers. Dominic Smith, another lefty up. He grounds over to Noda, and that's the former Gold Glover on display right there. Steps on the bag. It's a 3 unassisted. Quickly 2 down now for Brett Beatty, who gets plunked. I don't think that was some retaliation for the homer earlier, but, you know, fastball in will always have the batter thinking otherwise. Then he strikes out Michael Massey. So a good inning from Kyle Muller. He goes into the next inning, gets in a little bit of trouble, so we're going to bring in Abner Uribe to try to get us out of this jam. It has not been a good season for the youngin as he plunks the next batter, Roccaforte, in the butt. That's 2 guys who've homered that have been plunked. Next batter, though, Clase swings through a fastball as their sinker, as that's the first out of the inning. But bases are loaded for Oswelvis Basabi with 1 down. But he grounds it to Noda, who goes to short, back to Noda, and Uribe gets out of the inning. How about that for the younger righty? Keeps it 7-2. Is now into the 7th inning. Asa Lacy, the lefty on the mound for the Tigers. Playing with a 5-run lead here. He gets Tyler Soderstrom up first, who flies out into left center field. And that'll bring up in the 5-hole hitter today, Jacob Wilson, 0-2, 0 for 2 on the day, and he looks at strike 3. A picture-perfect fastball in the corner from Lacy. Gets him looking. Next batter, Elliott will draw a walk, so at least we get 1 base runner in the 7th inning. And that'll bring up Daniel Susac, singled back in the 3rd. Only hit 163 on the season. Has not been a good sophomore campaign. And it looks like it will continue as he grounds this one to short. Nice backhand by Lawler and gets him at first base. We'll now go later into this one into the 8th inning now with Zach Jackson in relief. The righty getting some work here, down by 5. Starts off with Michael Massey and he gets some on the inside slider. Nice pitch there. Zach Deloach up next, the battle of Zachs, and Deloach looks like he's going to win this one as he goes shopping in the gap. Rolls all the way to the wall. Deloach has some speed. He's going to round 3rd, and he's going to have a triple, his first triple of the season. The former Twin, who was acquired back in May in the Akil Badu trade, is only 90 feet away from scoring another run. Jordan Lawler up next, the former Diamondback, acquired last year in the Riley Green deal at deadline, will fly into center field, and that will be a sac fly as the Tigers add number 8. 2 down now for Carson Roccaforte, who grounds this one up over to 3rd. Wilson should make the play. But we go into the final inning, Tigers up by 6, and that will essentially do it for this one. They will win by that exact same score, 8-2 in favor of Detroit. Not a good look for the Athletics. They got kind of beat down in this one, but like I said, if you noticed in my commentary, I was naming a lot of players who have been on the move recently because the Tigers have been very aggressive in roster rebuilding. And because of that, they are 500, a lot better than they were a season ago. And they get the win today, 8-2, 8 runs, 9 hits for them, 2 runs, 4 hits for the Athletics. And your player of the game goes to Zach Deloach, who was just a home run shy of the cycle, reached on base in all of his at-bats. So it was Tuesday. The game of the week was the Diamondbacks and the Braves win a close one, 4-3. Arizona is actually the best team in baseball, and the Braves are the defending World Series champions. So they could really meet in the postseason this year. Game 2, we lose 4-3. The Tigers come back from down 3-0 in the 9th and win it. Tony Santillan blows another game, and now we really got to start to have a conversation about his future as our closer. We are going to make one roster move. It's not a pitching move, but it's an interesting one. We're going to call up Jordan Diaz. I know he only has 1 hit and 11 at-bats in the majors, but I'm going to give him some more work. And we're actually going to send down Eddie Rosario, not because he's been playing bad, but because he's probably going to get traded soon. And I think we've met with Eddie's camp, and I think we've seen the last game he's played as an Athletic. We want to make the roster move. We're going to try to look for a trade for Eddie at the deadline, and if he doesn't get traded, we'll just have to DFA him. So that's it for Eddie Rosario's ace tenure. Comes kind of with a whimper. And we lose the third game 6-3. Steelers did not have a good start, which means we get swept as we get ready to host the New York Yankees, who are one of the best teams in the American League. The Yankees have had a good season too. They sit 48-27. That's the top of the American League East and one of the best teams in the American League, as they are 3 years removed from going to the World Series. So New York was very aggressive this all season and making moves to try to get back to that point and end what's been kind of a World Series drought for New York. We'll start off today on offense as we'll send Micah Bell onto the mound for today's game, and he has not been that good this season, especially since he is our quote-unquote ace of the rotation. He'll start off against Willie Castro, who's tied for 5th in the American League in steals, and the former Cincinnati Red will kick us off by lining the first pitch into right field, then off of the top of the wall. Elliott will quickly play it off the bounce, but that's a leadoff double for Castro, his 18th double of the season. Nathaniel Lowe up next on a hit and a run, but Castro quickly has to put the brakes on and go in reverse, as this one's flied out to Robbie Martin. And we'll take a look at this Yankees lineup. It looks a lot different. They've done a very good job building the 2 through 5 spots. We'll see Aaron Judge up next, followed by Jazz Chisholm in center, Dalton Varsho in left. Anthony Volpe is your shortstop, Tyler Stevenson behind the plate, Lane Thomas in right field, and Oswaldo Cabrera at third. They're the best scoring team in all the American League. Here is Judge up next, who gets a curveball and he pops it up. We dodged a major bullet with that pitch. Judge doesn't miss those very often. That's out number 2. Jazz Chisholm with 2 down now, singles up the middle, and that's going to bring in a run. An RBI single for the now $140 million man who came over from Miami on a 5-year deal. 1-0 Yankees. Here's Dalton Varsho up next, who pops this one up into right field. Elliott will range to the foul line, and he'll make the grab to end the top of the first. Garrett Cole, the 2023 AL Cy Young Award winner and 8-time All-Star, will take them out for the Yankees, now playing with a 1-run lead, and a lot of times that's all Garrett Cole needs. Zach Geloff will lead off for the A's like usual, and on the first pitch, Geloff will hit this one up the middle, and he'll get by a diving glove of Anthony Volpe for a leadoff single. And actually with that play, Volpe's going to have to come out of the game. He's feeling some discomforts in his oblique or ab area. And he will be removed, and they'll replace him with the 26-year-old from Venezuela, Yorbit Vivas, to take over at shortstop. Hopefully that's okay for Volpe. Next at bat is Robbie Martin, our shortstop today, as he pops this one up into foul territory, where it will be caught by Nathaniel Lowe. And we'll take a look at the A's lineup today as we continue to mix and match a little bit. So we'll see Noda, Soderstrom, Jordan Diaz getting the start today at third base. Logan Davison playing designated hitter, so Martin's getting a chance to play the field today. Clark Elliott in right, Sammy Ciani in left, and Pedro Pineda at center field, as we are dead last in the American League in home runs. Here's Noda with a 1-2, and he chases the inside slider wildly, so 2 down now for Tyler Soderstrom, as on 0-1 pitch, this slider gets away from Stevenson and allows Geloff to move up to second base. So now a runner in scoring position for Stevenson. Next pitch, he hits a fastball into left center field with some carry. Varsho's going back, but it's going to go over the wall. A 2-run homer for Tyler Soderstrom. It's his 10th Soder pop of the season. Shout out Toby Rourke comments for coining that term. And the Athletics get themselves a lead. 2-1 now in favor of the A's as we get to Garrett Cole early. So now the next batter, Jordan Diaz. 1-0 pitch to him, hits it over to third. Nice diving stop by Cabrera. Comes up, but the throw is offline. That's a tricky one. They're going to call that an E5. I probably would have considered that a base hit, considering he had a dive to stop the ball anyway. Nonetheless, Logan Davison up next, average down to 265. That is still a team high, believe it or not. But he pops up a fastball over to shortstop. That'll end the bottom of the first. The A's take a 2-1 lead. We go to top 3 now. Here's Nathaniel Lowe, the former Ranger, who signed a 5-year, $50.5 million contract with the Yankees in the offseason to be their new first baseman. And he's going to pop this one up for our first baseman, Ryan Noda. Going to bring up Aaron Judge, now a 2-time AL MVP, but he can't lay off the slider running away. Great pitch by Abel. Trying to get through the heart of this Yankees lineup. He's going to bring up Jazz Chisholm, who RBI singled back in the first. And with a 1-2 pitch, he's going to hit a one-hopper over to Martin. And Martin throws this one in the dirt. It's going to be an E6. We said earlier Martin plays a lot of DH, getting a chance to play in the field today. And, well, he comes up misfiring there. That'll bring up the former Blue Jay, Dalton Varsho, who also signed a 5-year contract in the offseason worth $43.5 million. And he's going to keep the inning alive. So the error might come back to bite us. Yorbit Vivas up next. We'll ground it over to first, so we at least dodge the bullet of the E6. Go bottom 4 now with our offense. Jordan Diaz back up at the plate, and he strikes out on a fastball dead on the corner. Great pitch by Cole. His 5th strikeout of the day will bring up Logan Davidson with a 2-2, and he can't lay off the slider as well. Back-to-back Ks for Cole. Brings up the right fielder Clark Elliott. And he also can't lay off the low pitch, and that's striking out the side for Garrett Cole, starting to find his footing. Top 5 now, back with the Yankees' top man, and Willie Castro pops this one up into center field, where it'll be caught by Pineda. Nathaniel Lowe, hitless on the day. First pitch, though, he's going to change that as he hits it into right field. Elliott comes up firing, actually gets close to getting him out at first, but Lowe is not in the bag for whatever reason. Judge now with one away, hits this one up the middle. The 7-time All-Star and reigning home run champion will move Lowe over to third. Now you got him in the corners for the Yankees and Jazz Chisholm. Big spot here. This is why you pay him the big money. And Jazz delivers into the left field corner, and that's going to score a run. Judge will hold up at third. Siani does a good job of getting to the ball. But now we're tied up at 2 apiece. And we got 2 in scoring position. That'll do it for Abel. He only goes 4 1/3 today. Kyle Muller comes in as a couple of lefties are due up. The A's are going to try to get out of this jam. First batter is Dalton Varsho, and he pops it up into right field. Judge was going home, so it doesn't look like they're going to tag on Elliott, and that's big because the runners stay put, and now the Yankees need a base hit. It's Yorbit Vivas who gets underneath the slider. He pops up into center field, and Muller does a good job at getting out of the jam. The Yankees do tie it up. Fortunately, Muller would take the next inning, and he would walk the bases loaded, so not a good next inning for Muller in the 6th. Miller in to try to get out of this jam. If we get out of this one, that would be very impressive. First batter, though, Castro will fly it into right. This looks like it will be deep enough to tag, and the throw is a good one, but it's offline. And the Yankees do take a 3-2 lead. 1 out, runners on the corners for Lowe. 1-2, and Miller strikes him out inside. Good pitch there by Miller. Gonna bring up Aaron Judge. First pitch to him, and he pops it up into center. So despite the fact we did lose the lead, bases loaded, nobody out. We only gave up 1 run. That's kind of a win. But we do trail 3-2 as now Lucas Sims comes in the 7th, trying to sort of keep this lead. It has not been a good season for him. But he starts off by striking out Jordan Diaz. I don't know why he didn't swing the bat there. Next batter, Logan Davidson. He does swing the bat, but he can't connect on the slider. A little frustrated with himself. Clark Elliott now up next. First pitch to him, and he's just going to hit a chopper over to short. Vivas with it, and that'll put him away. Easy 7th for Sims, as Ron Marciano will then come in the 8th. Marinacio, my bad. 2.04 ERA, a lot better season for him as he looks to get the setup. He'll start off with Sammy Siani, who gets a good fastball. Gives it a rip, but flies it out to Chisholm in center field. In the 9th hole today, Pedro Pineda hitless as well. Like a lot of these A's batters, and like a lot of these A's batters, he's striking out. Quick 2 down now for Zach Geloff. Has 2 of our 3 hits, but he can't connect on the changeup. And he goes down swinging. As we'll head into the top of the 9th now, Joe Barlow in, who could very well be our all-star representative this season. He's been great out of the bullpen. First batter he'll face is Nathaniel Lowe, and on the first pitch, he'll pop a slider sky high for Tyler Soderstrom, who will make the play. Gonna bring up the 6-time Silver Slugger Aaron Judge, and he can't lay off the slider again. Nice pitch by Barlow, quickly 2 down, but now it's Jazz Chisholm, who's been very hard to get out today, and here's another reason. Another gapper into right center. He's now 4 for 5, and even his 1 out, he reached because it was an error. So Chisholm's reached base all 5 appearances today, and now he's on to second base for Dalton Varsho. Manager Mark Kotze wants to give the free pass. They'd rather get the forced out and make the rookie Yorbit Vivas do something about it. And he'll pop it up in the infield. Barlow lets Diaz get it literally right behind him. And we have a 1-run deficit going into the ninth where Clay Holmes, the 4-time All-Star, will be in for the Yankees. Only 12 for 15 this season on save ops, but he's still one of the best closers in the American League. He'll start off against Robbie Martin with an 0-2, and he pulls a slider down the line, but playing the line is Cabrera, and he'll put him away for out number 1. Ryan Noda now up next, 1-2, and he pokes a sinker into left. Good contact, but it's going to be caught. And now the game comes down to Tyler Soderstrom. He does have a 2-run homer back in the first, but on the first pitch he chops one over to Vivas, and that will do it in this one. The Yankees win game 1 by a final score of 3-2. Fortunate game for the A's. The hitting got off to a hot start in the first, but then there was only 1 hit in the next 8 innings for the offense. Pitching did good, I will say. Only 3 earned runs given up to the Yankees, considering they're one of the best hitting teams in all of baseball. Is not a bad thing, but we get the loss as Yankees take game 1 here at Sutter Health Park. Your player of the game, if I had to guess, would be Jazz Chisholm, and it is. He went 4 for 5, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs. I mean, he had a great day and gets the Yankees the win. Now, after this game, we are going to make 1 roster move, and we're going to send down Luis Medina. It's just not been working out in the majors. Again, he does have to clear waivers, but if he gets claimed, honestly, at this point, so be it. I can't just keep keeping him at the majors with a 7.35 ERA. Speaking of moves, I want to bring you back to Eddie Rosario, who earlier in the episode we said would probably be traded or released or something. He's played his final games in a uniform. We've officially DFA'd him, and we have found a home. The Chicago Cubs are looking for a left fielder, and it's not been a good year for the Cubs. They sit 30-45 at the bottom of the NL Central. But this is a low-risk scenario for Chicago because they're giving up third baseman Tyler Freeman, who, despite having the B potential, is 27 years old and regressing. It's not worked out in the majors for him in his career thus far. So this is kind of like a buy low trade for Chicago. We weren't going to get a lot for Eddie anyway, considering he is a free agent at the end of the year and he's 35 years old. So it's just a minor trade. But we do make the deal, and Tyler Freeman is the newest Athletic. He'll have to pass waivers as well to get down to AAA. I don't think he'll get claimed, considering he hasn't been good at the majors. And now we've also officially traded our entire outfield to begin the season. Rosario, Ruiz, and Rooker are all in new homes, as Eddie will become the starting left fielder for the Chicago Cubs. Game 2, we get shellacked 10-0 as the Yankees mercy rule us. Paul Blackburn, 3 earned in 4 innings, and in the bullpen was not good either. 7 earned in 5. The only good player was Mason Miller. It is Saturday, so a couple of big games today. The Cardinals go into Arizona and win 7-5. The Diamondbacks are the best team in baseball. The Cardinals are giving them a run for the money. I'm surprised St. Louis has been that good this season. But another statement win for St. Louis. And then the night game, the Cubs are playing host to the Orioles, and they win. Eddie Rosario's debut for Chicago, he goes 1 for 4. It's not, or 0 for 4. And Chicago's able to get a big win against a good Orioles team. Now, that was not the only trade on today. The Orioles and the Braves make a deal as Baltimore acquires Penn Murphy from Atlanta for Colby Howard. I think the Orioles definitely won this trade. Penn Murphy's been a solid reliever his entire career, probably one of the more underrated relievers. And the Braves get Colby Allard, who's back there after 4 appearances in 2023. Did a good job in Philly, has not had a good year in Baltimore, but we'll see if the Yankees can get him back on track, or the Braves, excuse me. We get swept by the Yankees 3-2 in Game 3. Joe Barlow actually did not have a good performance, and we now sit at a record of 25-53. And Luis Medina actually gets claimed off waivers by the Nationals. We're going to let him go. I mean, yes, he's a B potential and he's getting better, but it's been a long journey for him, and I'm kind of ready for him to move on anyway. To fill his spot, we're going to call up Robbie Francisco. We have a lot of good pitching prospects, which is another reason why I'm not that mad about Luis Medina leaving. And now we head into the next episode, the 2-game homestand against San Diego, before traveling to Washington to face the Nationals. Maybe we'll get a peek of Luis Medina in that series, as we hopefully try to pick up some wins in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know the series has really dropped off in views, but those who are still watching, I really appreciate you guys, because I'm still having a lot of fun with this series, despite the fact that we don't win many games right now. If you are enjoying, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.